welcome to Underpaid Gamers
You're
Podcast.
starting it!
My name is Justin. I'm here with my friend and colleague Tony.
You almost messed it up.
So today's topics may or may not include Star Wars.
They do include.
They may or may not include a piece of paper that Tony won't tell me what's on it. He is like getting up in my face. He's got this real manic look on his face. I think he is like excited about this. So if you didn't know, we are the official podcast of underpaidgamers.com. And stay tuned for more. Let's hit the theme song. If you would like to find out more about us before we get started...
Who's running the show today?
I'm running the show today.
People are going to be confused.
I know. You can check us out on YouTube. Search Underpaid Gamers. And we're the one with the sticky note. Also the best one. So, there's that. If you'd like to interact with us, if you'd like to send us a comment, go ahead and tweet at UP Gamers Podcast. If you'd like to send us a letter, as in the electronic format, send it to underpaidgamerspodcast@gmail.com. And beyond that,
where are they currently listening?
You can listen to us on SoundCloud, on iTunes, on Google Play, Podcast Addict. You can find us on there.
Yeah.
All sorts of places.
Which really just uses the iTunes library.
It really does.
But it's a good app for your phone that I use to listen to all my podcasts.
Exactly. Me too. It works really well with my Android Auto.
That's really nice. And then it automatically deletes all the episodes you listen to already, so it doesn't clutter up your phone.
Yep. They do a good job.
Podcast Addict.
So, Tony.
Yes?
Tell me, what have you got for us today? What have you
What
been
I
playing?
got for us today?
Yeah.
Not a lot. You want to know what happened this week?
Tell me what happened.
You know, but for the viewers.
Okay, for them.
For the listeners.
I'll pretend like I don't know. Tell me, what the heck happened?
I sent you a message and I said, I got nothing, you're up.
Yep, that's exactly what I woke up to.
And you're like, all right.
Okay. Fine.
But then...
Dun, dun, dun!
Things happened. Not a lot of things. There are some things I've done.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about the games I've played recently?
Sure.
Let's talk about that.
Let's do that first.
First thing that I'm very excited to play is I downloaded Black Mesa last night because it's Halloween sale on Steam, which is the... it's a fan remastering of Half-Life 1. I've never played Half-Life 1 before.
Okay.
And this came out to really good reviews. So it finally got below to a price that I thought acceptable, so I bought it. So I'm really excited to play it.
So is this going to be like one of those things, like Fahrenheit 451? No, what was it called? Indigo Prophecy.
What about it?
That one. It was really good in its time, but then you played it and you were super disappointed.
I mean...
Is that what's about to happen?
Maybe, but it's Half-Life.
Okay. Go ahead.
Which is generally represented as rarely good.
Very good. Okay.
So...
Go ahead.
Hopefully not. That'll be interesting. But
yeah, let's hope that's not the case.
Secondly, and most importantly to our podcast,
this is big news, guys.
We got exclusive access to a video game.
Exclusive!
Through our connections, through my connections.
Through his connections.
Of the gaming industry. I got in touch via an agent.
Special agent.
With a game developer at Nilo Studios. They are known for, this is the first game they ever produced, it's called Assemblance, which is on PS4 and Steam. It's a short game, but they gave me a code for review. This game came out earlier this year, around May, I think. So I just got the code for it last week.
Yeah.
So a little late to the game, but still in the game nonetheless.
That's right.
So luckily for us, they gave us the opportunity to play that game and to review it, and I will be putting up a review on YouTube here soon. I played it last night. First time I got to play it was last night, and I played it, and it was a lot of fun. Assemblance is a mystery thriller, psychological thriller type game. Very storyline based, very
exciting,
question heavy. Maybe not something that you would enjoy.
Does it,
Justin?
Why not me?
Because I always offer up these really good story games that don't have a lot of gameplay.
You are referencing Heavy Rain.
I'm referencing quite a few things.
Only Heavy Rain.
To where you're always like, meh.
Just Heavy Rain is what he's talking about.
If you wanted to place this into a gaming category, you could call it a walking simulator.
Okay.
Which has a negative connotation, I think, but it's not. It is a story-driven game where most of the gameplay just is you walking around into these things. So essentially, you're in this factory type thing. You're in this scientific factory lab thing.
Okay.
Where they have holograms. It's very much like the Danger Room and X-Men, where they can project. The Danger Room, not so much this, but they can project your memories based on things. So think of it like a pensieve from Harry Potter. Mm-hmm. So you can go into these memories, you can re-experience them, and it's all about choice and trying to figure out what happened, because you kind of wake up and there's an accident. You don't really know what's going on. So you go up to the computer terminal and there's this AI that talks to you. It's you and an AI pretty much throughout the game. You're trying to figure out what's going on, and you have these 3 different locations to go to. There's like a mountainous field. There's your office, your lab office that has some things in it, and then there's also your home, your apartment. Mm-hmm. There's some time travel stuff that happens on in this, so it's very interesting. I found out that it's like part 1 of a series that they're making, and I found out this actually before I played the game. It's on the website, so that's public knowledge for anybody, but I found out from the developer that they had that they're really excited to make a sequel, because now that they know the ins and outs of getting like a game certified and getting the trophies up and things like that, the second time will just be so much easier. So they're really excited to make a second one. They haven't announced when yet, but it's a lot of fun. I had fun with it. I beat it in one night. I got all the trophies in one night. Wow. It got very difficult towards the end, and it's one of those. It's a puzzle game type of thing where I would have never known how to get these specific endings, because there's more than one ending. You could say. I wouldn't have never known how to get these endings unless I looked on YouTube. There was actually a fairly viral video of a streamer I believe it's called I'm the Blue Ranger, where he found the secret ending to this game, A Semblance, and this was back in June or July. That was on all the like gaming websites and things like that. Cool. So we kind of missed the wave on that one, but we're on the second wave. Some people still think that there's more in this game that people haven't found yet. I have gotten 100% of the trophies. There's 8 of them. Mm-hmm. It's very interesting. I had fun with it.
When you say 100%, that sounds way more impressive than 8. Just saying.
Well, of the 8, I got 8.
Oh, so well, that is 100% true.
The game was also kind of fast. I mean, he's so familiar with the game, I'm the Blue Ranger or whatever his name is, that he could beat the game in like 28 minutes, something like that.
Holy cow!
And some things are time based, but when I downloaded the game, it was $10 on Steam or $10 on PS4. I don't know what it is on Steam. So it's a cheap game. Hop into it if you want.
Yeah. So one question: does this game touch themes that are deep in the human experience, or is this just like a very fun-loving type of game? So is this like a deep, like would you say?
I wouldn't call it fun-loving.
Okay.
There's some things that are going on with your wife in the game. Mm-hmm. The trailer for the game I watched before I downloaded it. It's one of those things where it's like you can relive these memories and relive these past events, and you can find out what happened, and you can remember these things about your wife, and then it kind of cuts to black, and it's like, but maybe you don't want to. So it's a mystery thriller type thing. Yeah. There is the standard. So because it has to do with choice, and because it has to do with the ramifications of this choice, there's obviously the standard video game / movie trope of having a butterfly, which is obviously reminiscent of the butterfly effect. The saying, which is best experience in the Ashton Kutcher butterfly effect movie.
Nice.
But you also see this in so many other things. You see this in Until Dawn was all based around butterflies. Mm-hmm. There's some butterflies, I believe, in The Last of Us. Maybe not. Maybe it was some other game like that. But
Fireflies.
No, there's fireflies there too. But
okay.
I remember butterflies and something. So whenever that has to do with choice or gameplay choice or things like that, or how your past decisions affect your future decisions, there's always a butterfly. Yeah. So you can almost call it cliched, but at the same time, yeah, it was fun. If I had to give it the good old Underpaid Gamers rating, where we say how much we think it's worth, it's currently worth $10 on PSN. I got it for free because I know the developer, so that's real cool of them.
There it is.
I think given the fact that I got all the trophies, but I had to look online to find them all, and then that helped me beat the game faster. If I really put a whole bunch of time into this and wanted to find all the trophies by myself and figure this all out, that game could take you hours and hours and hours and days and days and days, because there's not really clear about things you have to do. There's kind of secrets hidden. I got through most of the game by myself. I had a good time. I would say $7 would be a good price for this.
All right, cool.
So it exceeded what I paid. Yeah, that's good
for sure.
So $6.99, something like that.
Cool. If you want a more in-depth review, check out Tony's YouTube video.
YouTube video, which isn't up yet,
Which
but it will be.
It will be. Be looking for that.
Be on the lookout. Also, what did I want to talk about? No, I didn't talk about the other thing. What did I talk about before that? Oh,
nothing.
Black Mesa. Friggin' liar.
Yes, Black Mesa.
Titanfall 2 came out.
It dropped.
It dropped between Battlefield 1 and Black Ops, or Infinite Warfare.
Yes. And from what I've seen many reviews over Titanfall 2 being actually pretty good. Mostly positive. I've seen a lot of praise for its campaign.
But sales numbers in general, probably not the best place to release a game.
Yeah, that's kind of like trying to release a movie between Star Wars and Harry Potter. Something like that. Like, you're not going to do well.
What?
Fantastic Mr. Okay.
What? Fantastic Mr. Fox?
No! Fantastic Beasts and those other things, where they come from. I'm trying to think of the name.
Fantastic Beasts and Where Are They?
Yeah. Where are they? It's Batman. Just kidding. All right.
When is that coming out?
I think it's Christmas. Yeah, I think they're all coming out this winter.
And Star Wars is coming out this winter?
Oh, yeah. Rogue One.
Why don't you just stay away from that? Film companies.
I know.
Film industry.
I was like, why would you even want to release a movie competing with those? I don't know. It's like when Batman vs Superman moved because of Civil War.
Yeah.
That was our theory.
And then Civil War moved.
And Civil War, yep.
Anyway. YouTube, this is my news.
Yeah, this is
news that I came across.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube is getting live TV, according to Polygon. They say that they're getting live TV programming from CBS. It's going to be called Unplugged, probably available next year. So much like Amazon, much like Hulu, Netflix, they're going away from I think Amazon has live TV. So this is live TV where you can watch CBS, but on YouTube. But it's a paid subscription.
Okay.
Which it looks like down here. Reports estimate that YouTube Unplugged's skinny bundle will run between $25 and $40, putting it on par with Sony's competitors like Sony's PlayStation Vue and Dish.
Dish's Sling TV?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pricey. I would not do that.
That is pricey. It's interesting. It seems like all these internet giants, and even the giants outside the internet, are all trying to diversify, and they do have a little bit of everything. I'm thinking like AT&T has now DirecTV under them, and now they're trying to get Time Warner.
But that's not why they were so popular to begin with.
I know,
because they did a undiversified thing very well.
Right. So it's just interesting as these internet companies that are now giants develop. How much are they going to be pushing out into other markets? Who knows? I think this is an example of that, perhaps.
I don't care. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about Walking Dead Season 7 premiere?
No, because I have only seen GIFs of it happening. I have not actually watched it. GIFs.
No, that's a peanut butter.
GIFs. Well, I don't
peanut butter
right now.
You've seen images in peanut butter of what happens?
Yeah, exactly.
Or you've seen little video clips with no audio.
And
called a GIF.
Generated image format?
Yes.
GIF. Oh, the creator of GIF calls it GIF and says it's a GIF.
I don't care what he calls it.
Okay, he's the one who made it.
Okay, but did he make GIF peanut butter, which is around a long time before that?
I don't know.
No.
Either way, he calls it GIF, so I'm just doing what the creator did.
I don't know how many other things we have taken from the creators and changed.
I don't know. Probably lots of things. Either way, this is a dumb conversation that we should move on from. GIFs. Titanfall 2 has dropped. We covered that. Skyrim.
You're distracted today.
I am distracted. So Friday. Last Friday, the 28th. Something dropped. It was called Skyrim. And it re-dropped, if you will.
Skyrim special edition.
So it's interesting that a game that came out quite a while ago, last generation, 2011, would come back for another pretty big release. It's generated a lot of talk amongst the internet, and what I want to talk specifically about today with Skyrim Special Edition is it on PS4 and the mod support, which should be the thing that makes this different from its original release, right? Because we didn't have mods on the PlayStation 3 version or the Xbox
That's one of the
360 version.
You're forgetting about the volumetric God rays.
The what?
Exactly.
Either way,
realistic lighting effects. All the things that they teased.
Yeah, all those things that
are probably in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Also, before we get into this,
okay,
Skyrim ran very badly on PS3.
Very poorly.
So even if this wasn't with mods, if this didn't have mods, this would run better than the original Skyrim, which I think would be good enough reason to re-release it.
Yeah, perhaps. I don't know.
But you want to talk about mods specifically.
I think it depends on how much you played it previously. Like, I know people who put like 400 plus hours in Skyrim.
Yeah.
And then they just bought the new one.
Yeah.
And if you buy it on PS4, you can't get mods that add any content. You can only get mods that are limited by a few different things, which I'm going to go into here in a second. So just on opening day, the amount of mods that were on the PlayStation market versus the Xbox market, PS4 had 2/3 fewer mods than what Microsoft had on opening day. And the number, it was like 44 to 127 mods, just pure number.
Well, those are developer-created mods.
Some of them are not.
How would a consumer make a mod for PS4 before it's even out?
Oh, that's a good point. I don't know.
Just saying.
Either way, Sony doesn't allow modders to add or drastically change any of the gameplay. They've limited the size of mods to 1 gigabyte, and they do not allow scripts, audio files, or textures. So essentially, on Sony's PlayStation, you're only really allowed to play with what is already there. You really can't add much to the game. So the closest things to content additions in those early mods were like, hey, here's this sword, go grab it. And it was just like a really nice sword. And it had like special things on it. But
we talked about this before, though. We talked about this last week, where we said they can't add any other assets. You can't add a Darth Vader skin. You can't add Thomas the Tank Engine Dragons.
Yeah.
That's essentially what they're saying.
Yeah. And
you can't add copyrighted outside assets.
So my question is, why would you buy this on PS4 if it really isn't much different than the original? Like, if you had it on PS3, I mean, besides the fact that it runs better, what you just said, okay, first off, why did we buy it in the first place if it didn't run very well on the first one? And if it's the exact same game, why would you spend twice as much money on this game again?
What do you mean twice as much?
Like, you paid $60 for PS3, and then you bought $60 on PS4. Why would you do that?
The things that come with Skyrim Special Edition is all the DLC. So if you don't have that,
okay,
that's a reason.
But you could have bought Game of the Year edition.
Yeah, but that would be on PS3, and that would also run poorly. One of the reasons that Skyrim ran so poorly is because the bigger your save file got, the longer load times were, and the more laggy it became, the more frame rate drops you had, the more harder it was to play the game. You would assume that this would be better. I don't know. It's only been out for 2 days. But you get all the DLC, which is a good reason to rebuy a remaster game. Not to mention the enhanced graphics. It probably runs better with the PS4. Even access to some mods. It comes with the, I don't know what they called it, but it's like a Skyrim editor where you can make your own mods, which is why I said those are developer mods at the very beginning, not consumer generated mods. I mean, those are all reasons why people would buy it.
Okay. Those do not seem very, I don't know. If I were to buy the special edition, I think I would buy it on PC. But even that, I don't even want to, because I already have it on PC, and I already have access to all the things that it is adding.
I mean, you get it for free on PC if you have all the DLC.
Okay. So I already have it, then?
Do you have all the DLC?
Mm-hmm.
No, then yes.
I think so. Oh. Well,
but you have to keep in mind on DC, Skyrim Special Edition and the original Skyrim are 2 different games. So all the modders have to remake the mods for Skyrim Special Edition because they're completely 2 different games. However, you can transfer a save from the first game to the Skyrim Special Edition just by dragging and dropping the save file from your first game to the new one.
But there are limits to that. If you had mods on that save file beforehand, you cannot do it. They've even tried taking the mods off of the original save file, and they still aren't able to transfer it over. So if you did play with mods in the first one, you can't.
Yet. Those mods have to be regenerated.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some very specific mods for Skyrim on PC. Skyrim Script Extender, which is pretty much the basis of all mods. They're remaking that. They're working on that. I believe that's a consumer-generated mod, but it might be a developer-generated mod. But that has to come out before a whole bunch of other mods can be made. But the big issue, I don't know what the rules are on Xbox One for scripts and audio files and textures. I don't know how strict they are, but on Xbox One I know it's like 2 or 3 gigs files.
It's 5 gigs.
5 gigs for mods, and PS4 is just 1 gig.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I don't know why.
Well, it goes back to a couple weeks ago when it was announced that they weren't going to have mods on the Sony version. Bethesda said essentially it's the criteria they have for mod support were too strict for them.
Yeah.
And so they're not going to do it. And then so finally they came to some sort of compromise with it, but it still seems that Sony has a much stricter set of guidelines for these mods than Microsoft or PC. Well, I guess Microsoft is PC. So yeah. Microsoft.
So you're considering this a win for...
I'm considering this a win on the Xbox side because it seems to me that Sony is not super supportive of mods. They're not like mod support. They're just not into it, it seems, because it's not something that they can control as easily. Like, you can't... I wonder how much of it is legal things, but since you can't control exactly what goes on there, they try to limit it to control it. But if you leave it open, you get better stuff, but at the same time you also get probably more sketchy stuff too.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting to see the two different approaches to it. I was wondering actually, how does Microsoft get away with having more like freer rules for modding as compared to Sony? Like a Darth Vader skin. Like, how is that not infringing on... infringement? Yeah. So, and them allowing it, doesn't that make them liable for that? Like, I don't know how that all works. So it just seems interesting that they have it that way. But it seems to me like Xbox has done a better job of getting mod support, and also making this more worthwhile for me. Like, all the DLC, like, I've played Skyrim, I played all the stories. I played Skyrim for the stories and for the interaction you have and the gameplay. It's all fun. So for me to buy Special Edition, which I already have it on PC since I had all the DLC, I don't know if it's worth it. But maybe if you had the vanilla Skyrim and you didn't play it that much or didn't get super into it, it might be worth it to get all those DLC things. But you may want to get on PC.
But you also wouldn't buy the remastered version of your favorite game. Don't you only have Last of Us for PS3 and not for PS4?
No, I did buy
Did you get it for PS4?
For $13.
Yeah.
I waited for it to get real cheap.
I think I got mine for $20.
And the reason I got it was because I had the DLC that I didn't buy for PS3.
Mm-hmm.
So, there it is.
Reasons. Speaking of compromises, which we mentioned a couple sentences ago.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the voice actor strikes. I have this written down, but I have it memorized. The video game companies, which I'm referring to them as, because it's a representative of all these video game companies, so I'm just going to call them the companies, versus SAG-AFTRA, which is the union for voice actors. We talked about this Screen Actors Guild of Fiction and TV and whatever. We talked about this last week if you want more information on it, but the game companies released more information about their discussions with SAG-AFTRA, to where SAG-AFTRA was like, one of the big points was vocally stressful work. We don't want to have, if the actor so chooses, we don't want to have 4-hour segments. We want to have like 2-hour segments. And the video game companies countered with, okay, you can do that, but they need to be scheduled in advance. So instead of one 4-hour segment, you can have 2-hour segments. They can be within 5 days of each other, but you have to schedule them in advance. Mm-hmm. And then SAG-AFTRA never responded to that and never like agreed or disagreed to anything. They just like left it hanging there.
What?
And then another thing was payment, whereas the people in the union wanted their workers to get paid incrementally based on sales of a video game, which can be risky if a game, so every 500,000 copies sold, that worker then gets some compensation. Where the video game companies would say, we're going to give you this money up front, which is safer for you in case the game doesn't sell. Mm-hmm. And then the SAG-AFTRAs, I think they didn't respond to that either. Just kind of like, we're not going to do this, we're going to go on strike.
They haven't decided yet, essentially.
Or they're like, we're going to go on strike. So the video game companies, a lot of people have reached out and said, like, this strike is useless and doesn't help anybody. Like, you're only hurting yourself doing this. Mm-hmm. Some people came out for the union side and said, no, I'm going to go on strike. Some people are like, there's no reason for the strike because you didn't have any discretion. Like, we tried to discuss this with you and you didn't agree or disagree to anything. Like, you didn't talk.
Yeah.
You know what that's like. They put up a wall,
mm-hmm.
an emotional wall,
mm-hmm.
maybe a physical wall. I don't know what they have.
Wrong.
Yeah. The good old Trump wall.
Trump wall of the video game industry.
So I want to mention that. you want to talk about Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
So for the rest of the episode, I have one more thing of news that I want to talk about that you don't know. I saw this on Reddit.
Is this, okay.
It's part of my notepad, but it's not aggressive.
He didn't use Google Docs. So I have no idea.
I'm hiding it from you.
Yeah, now he's hiding stuff.
The other one we're going to talk about Kingdom Hearts 3, and there's screenshots released. I have all that information. Yep. And then you want to talk about Star Wars fan theories.
Yep.
So for my last news segment, Kingdom Hearts kind of has to go into the news, but I feel like I need to defend my thesis on that, and I will.
Before I can even talk about it?
No, you can talk about it.
Okay.
But I want to talk about this. EA and Origin restricts access to 2 countries, Myanmar and Iran, without warning. Gamers can't play games that they bought. So any game that you buy on Origin is pretty much you're almost streaming it. So if you buy a game for $60 on Origin, you then have access to that game through their servers instead of so I have The Last of Us in disc form.
Yeah.
I own that game. You can't tell me I can't play it because I have it in disc. I can unplug my PS3 from the internet. I can play that whenever I want.
Exactly.
But on Origin, EA and Origin, you have to get it through they have to be open. So there was a complaint on Reddit. I saw this, and another one recently where 2 people came out and said EA and Origin had restricted access to Myanmar and Iran without warning based on trade restrictions the U.S. had with those countries. However, the restrictions with Myanmar were removed a month ago. So EA still doesn't allow access to them. And then also Iran, I think, has also changed. I think Obama changed some things, and that shouldn't be there anymore either. But for whatever reason, EA and Origin don't allow access to their games there. And the reason this is important, I think this is important for a lot of reasons, but the one I want to talk about specifically is eventually we'll go to an all-digital game library. You think you won't have brick and mortar stores selling discs. It'll be easier and cheaper to buy games online. But I think this is a big step in the wrong direction. And I think this is a really good reason to show we don't want that, and we're not ready for that.
Well, it's it's all centralized control then on the game company side.
Yeah. So even though people have spent $60 on this game, they can't play it because EA says they can't.
Yeah.
Whereas I have 20-some PS3 games I can play whenever the heck I want because I say I can.
Yeah, so they have to, Origin has to be open for them to be able to play those games. They can't, go in... So it's not like Steam, because, Steam, you can, go into your files and find the game that's installed and...
Yeah. From what I understand.
Interesting. Well,
So this just broke, today.
That's crazy.
So some people on Reddit were encouraging this person to talk to Kotaku and some marketing or some news publications to see what happens, but he said he was on hold with people for 2 hours. They said none of their quote unquote experts were there or available, so they'll have to call back later. Things like this, which is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know how you'd fix this in the future. I mean, I guess you do the Steam thing where you download games and it goes directly to your hard drive or whatever.
Yeah. It just seems weird that they would want to do that. Well, I guess Myanmar and Iran are both countries that have had pretty, what's the right word? Strained relationships with the Western world, with the U.S.
Well, EA and Origin are obviously U.S. companies.
Yeah, so I can understand to some extent why those countries specifically would be the ones.
Or the guy from Myanmar said he's not from Myanmar.
Right, and that's what I would expect. The majority of the people who probably are on Origin are probably expatriates or something. They are out working somewhere else for a job. They're there for 6 months, whatever, and they're used to using Origin, and they assumed they'd be able to play it there. Then when they get there, it's not.
Well, it's not even he was there before. He's stationed there, and then all of a sudden, no access.
Yeah.
So it's not even he didn't do his research. He went in there. Oh, I don't have access. It's yesterday I played Battlefield 1. Today I got on.
Couldn't play.
I can't play anymore.
Yeah, that's too bad. That sucks.
That's the worst.
That is the worst. It's the man telling him what to do.
Yeah.
It's hey,
freaking EA.
Hey, I paid money. Why can't I use this? No answer.
But also, buy games physically.
Yeah,
for now at least until it's all hammered out.
Right. I'm a big fan of physical discs. We've talked about this before. I still buy all of my PlayStation games.
I got everything right there.
I buy it all disc still. I use Steam on PC, and I have used Steam for a long time, so I moved away from physical discs on that for a long time, but I think Steam has a pretty good, proven track record. And so, I don't know. I think we should be wary of that. And especially as things go more online, just like your own personal safety, your own personal content, it can be taken from you. I mean, we were talking today about PlayStation's new two-step
verification.
Yeah, I mean that's the future of everything because everything's so interconnected. Everything's on the internet. Everything's in the cloud somewhere. You know, like things like this are going to be more common, and people getting hacked is going to be more common, which is so frustrating. Like the whole internet went down. We talked about that last week.
Yeah.
Ugh. Sorry, that was not really very specific complaints, but
fix yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Yeah, the internet, man. It's the internet.
You want to talk about Kingdom Hearts now?
Yeah. So. We have predicted on this podcast that Kingdom Hearts 3...
Before you say what we predicted,
okay,
because I don't know... The title of our episode that we predicted, I don't think is our actual prediction.
Okay.
I think it's kind of a clickbaity title.
Mm-hmm.
But our prediction is based in fact that Kingdom Hearts 3 has had a rocky development cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very... It doesn't bode well for the game itself.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can proceed.
Kingdom Hearts 3, we predicted, is unlikely to actually drop, and if it does, it's going to be crap. Right? That was our prediction, essentially?
I don't know if it's going to be crap, but it just has a strained development cycle. I was watching some of the trailers today, and they look really fun.
Yeah.
They're short trailers, and they show kind of the same things over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it looks like actual gameplay or if it's more like stylized cinematic gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
But it looked like a lot of fun. I was watching, I'm like, man, I want to play this. But the fact that it's been going for years and years and years.
Yeah, and we've talked about multiple development cycles,
yeah,
with different platforms, and it just makes things real messy.
Different directors and things like that.
So,
well, one director, but he was working on another thing.
Some evidence to show that, yes, work has been done on Kingdom Hearts 3.
Evidence to the contrary of our
prediction.
And
this is what I literally wrote. I said Kingdom Hearts 3 screenshots are dropped to show Mount Olympus. They probably heard our predictions and are trying to suppress our theory.
I guarantee you that's what happened.
That we are big names now.
Yes, we are.
We had free copies of games for stuff.
That's right.
For a review, so we're like making it now, guys. So
you and I had a text conversation.
We did.
And you said, I want to talk about these screenshots they released, and I said, they mean nothing.
Yeah. And I said, they can't mean nothing because there's something. They're evidence that shows that the game is being developed. The screenshots.
Okay.
And they show a couple different things. Show drive form from Kingdom Hearts 2. I know it's been a long time, guys, since you probably played that game, but you could switch drives, which is like different...
you could combine
combat
with
styles.
Goofy or Donald, and I think at one point you could combine with both of them.
Yeah.
To be a more effective
there was
combatant.
Like Valor form.
And wisdom.
Valor
was awesome.
Yeah.
You gotta do a wheel.
Red one. And you like choo 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 choo. And you like shoot guns and stuff. It's so much fun. Yeah, so it looks like to me that he's in a drive form in Mount Olympus, which makes sense because we've had Hercules in Greece. We've had in the first one, we had Hercules in Hades in the second Kingdom Hearts, and now it would all make sense for us to have Kingdom Hearts in Olympus for the third.
Okay.
So my thought was, this is probably evidence because they heard our theory, and they're like, we want to show that, yeah, we are working on this game. So it means something. Doesn't mean a lot, but it means something.
Okay, so we had the conversation.
We did.
And I want to express my thesis.
Okay, go ahead.
And then show the research that I have done just today to support my thesis.
Okay, go
my thesis is these screenshots mean nothing about the development cycle of the game.
Okay.
It does not encourage that the game is going to be done any sooner or that they have actually done any work on the game. Now I'm going to go back.
Everything you said made sense until that last sentence, and then I was like...
Now I'm going to go back. This is less scientific, less researched, but my thought is there's screenshots of a game.
Mm-hmm.
It is a video game. So it's like showing like a frame of a film and being like, look how much work we've done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you see this one frame? Like, we're doing a lot of work.
Okay.
These screenshots could have been taken at any time during the 10-year development cycle. Just because they released them now does not mean that they're any much closer to the game. It's just a way of saying it could possibly be a way of saying, and we want to still generate some hype for this game. We don't want you to forget. Here's 2 screenshots we took 5 years ago of things we haven't shown yet.
Okay.
And then to go along with that, this is where my paper comes in. I'm excited.
Okay.
Olympus. To go first, the two screenshots very clearly show Olympus. Olympus has been in every Kingdom Hearts game pretty much since they added Disney characters, which is all of them for the most part. So that's not really a big reveal. Everyone should have expected this should be in there.
Right. By Mount Olympus, you mean a Hercules place.
In Kingdom Hearts 1, it was Olympus Coliseum. So that was on Olympus. And Kingdom Hearts 2, there was the Olympus Coliseum, but there was the Underworld Coliseum, but you also went up to Olympus for a little bit.
For I believe one of the modes.
I don't know if there was gameplay up there. It might have just been story.
Yeah.
But then, so this is a tenement to Kingdom Hearts. This is a tent post.
Right.
There's always going to be some Olympus form in this game, so that shouldn't take that many people by surprise. To go more into research about drive forms, Tatsuya Nomura, who was the director, has been discussing drive forms ever since June of 2015. So that was a year ago. Again, they showed this drive form, and I guess they now confirm it. But in a video release in December 2014, it was at the 2.5 Kingdom Hearts 2.5 HD Remix release launch party. They also showed a Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer to select audiences in like London that showed drive forms, or rumored to be showed drive forms. I don't know if that trailer ever got launched. But then Nomura, the director, also discussed drive forms in June of 2015. So this is a year ago. So drive forms are at least a year old and newsworthy.
Okay.
So that being said, to go along with my first theory, these screenshots could have been taken a year ago. It doesn't mean they've done any progress since a year. And whatever. To farther prove my thesis, or to further have more things for my thesis, I have created a list of games that have either screenshots or videos or gameplay or demos of games that were never released.
Yeah.
So the first on my list is a game I've talked about in the newscast when you were gone, is Daredevil for PS2. So there's gameplay videos of this you can watch on YouTube. There were full like back cover advertisements for this game in like Game Informer and things like that. This was a long time ago. This was during the PS2 era. So this game was so close to being out, and it had so much to it. It never came out though. There's screenshots to it. There was gameplay, all this stuff. So there's progress being made on this game, but it got shelved. It got put away. Never released.
Yep.
So that goes into my theory that these screenshots mean nothing. Along with that, obviously games like The Last Guardian and Final Fantasy 15. Now we're getting closer to those releases, but they have also been in a 10-year development cycle, and we've seen gameplay and stuff from them for like 7 years at least. So maybe that means... So when we first saw the first trailer for like The Last of Us, or for the first trailer for Final Fantasy 15, when it was versus 13, there was still like a 7-year development cycle on the end of that. So for those pretenses, you'd be, that game is never coming out until it's physically in my hand, or physically in my computer through Origin, but I can't play it in Iran.
Yep, or Myanmar.
3 other games that were big that were never released, that were shelved. 6 Days in Fallujah, which might not be a game you know about. This is supposed to come out in like
shelved because it was too close to the war in Iraq.
2004, 2006, somewhere around there, and it was based in Iraq. You're playing. It was supposed to be the closest game to being in Iraq without actually being there, type of thing. And they kind of got shelved because it was
too controversial.
It was too controversial. Things like that.
Ate it up and was span it out, and it could not survive.
So there was gameplay of that. There's screenshots. There were demos. So that game was pretty much done, but it was never released. That doesn't necessarily fit into my thesis, but I think it deserves mentioning that there were screenshots and demos out in the world of these things, and it still didn't release. 2 other ones, one that might be close to you. Star Wars 1313. E3 gameplay. Shown at E3. There were screenshots. This game was still shelved. Nobody has admitted that this game has been canceled. Well, people have said it's been canceled.
There are rumors that it's being picked back up.
It's being picked back up. So this kind of goes with the screenshots, like... There was videos, there were screenshots, there's these things, and it still hasn't came out. And then, so that's personal to you, pulled on your heartstrings a little bit.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
And then another game by Rockstar called Agent, which is supposed to be like a 007 type British secret agent stealth game. Again, gameplay videos and images, and this game was also shelved. Rockstar hasn't talked about it in forever. You can assume that it's canceled, but it has never officially been canceled. It's kind of still in the works. So my thesis was that these screenshots mean nothing towards the development cycle because, one, they could have been taken at any time during the 10-year development cycle this game has had, as well as the fact that there's a list of so many games that have more than just screenshots because it's just a still image, right? And what does a still image mean to a video game? So a video game, if you're going to compare it to a movie, like you could have a movie poster on the shelf and that movie could never come out because it's just a poster. I was trying to make an analogy in my head when I was at work, and I don't think it's good. I don't think it's a very good one, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Okay.
If the Mona Lisa was being painted, and you took a screenshot of the Mona Lisa, and you're like, "Look at these lips that I've been working on," that would mean something. Like that's actual. You've seen that development a couple years ago. That wasn't there, but now the lips are there. I have a picture of that means something because it's a still image.
Okay.
And that's not going to change. But for Kingdom Hearts, it's something that's so mobile. Like this could just as easily be a script. I can't remember. Like what do they call it? Script drawings. Like they always show the behind the scenes photos. Sometimes you get bonuses in video games. You can look at all these.
Concept art?
Yeah, this could be concept art. I know that it's very detailed for concept art, and it looks like it's directly taken from like in-game footage. But I don't think screenshots are necessarily what needs to be done at this point in development, as well as the fact that, one, Olympus, you should expect to see that, because it's a big part in the franchise. And two, drive forms have already been discussed. So the two big takeaways from this is drive forms and Olympus, and both of them should be expected. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, a couple things.
Okay.
First off, you said these pictures could have been taken from any point along the 10-year process, but if you look at the photos, they don't look like concept art. I mean, they look like high-resolution photographs or screenshots of the game, and the graphics in the picture show that it's probably within the last 2 to 3 years. So I think 10 years is a little bit of a stretch there. I think one of your other points was just like in movies, just one little picture doesn't prove that it's in development or that it's done. But there are set photos for all sorts of movies all the time trying to engage interest that show
there's some sirens
that they're
going
working.
Off right now.
I thought we closed the door.
There are.
It's that loud. Okay, sirens, guys.
I live next to a fire station.
Yeah.
So there's that.
So today.
Anyway, restart your thought.
Okay, so you said that screenshots don't prove anything because it's just like a movie. One picture or one frame of a movie doesn't prove anything in terms of its development or its finishing. You said things along that line, or like a movie poster or something like that. But there are many cases in which a movie marketing team will set up an Instagram account or something else, and they will release photos of a set, maybe behind the scenes, all showing and giving hype for the movie that they're creating. The content within those pictures shows that there are resources being brought together to produce this product. I'm not saying, and I never have said, that these photos mean that this is going to come out on time or that it's even going to be good.
Well, there's no time.
All I've said is that these photos are something, and because they exist, it proves that they've been working on something. They have something to base this off of, and that proves that they have made some amount of development and spent time and resources to do this. One thing we haven't talked about in the photos is the fact that you can't tell the keyblades that they're using. They took that out. This is a side note.
You can't tell one of them.
You can't. The other one they edited too. You don't know where these are from. Apparently, the location that this keyblade is supposed to come from is a secret and it's new, and that's something else that's in there.
Yeah,
that we didn't talk about.
So they mentioned that. It's the second one. They kind of whited out. They say he's holding it like an axe, but they haven't shown that yet, which almost. I don't know. I don't know if that goes to either your side or my side. It's kind of neutral.
It's unknown. It's unknown.
They whited it out because they haven't shown what that world is from yet.
Which could be them covering their butt that they don't have one developed yet, or they're trying to drop this at a later date, the new location.
So you said that this shows that they've been working on something. This doesn't show that they've been working on anything more than any of the trailers that they've released.
True.
So, I don't know when the last time we got a trailer, but the very first trailer we got for this was like in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
So this doesn't show that there's any more development made on the game past 2012. They could have taken these screenshots in 2012.
Now, I can't remember the 2012 trailer. I'm sure I probably watched it because I was still like gung-ho about Kingdom Hearts.
Well,
then.
I think...
Did it show Olympus in that? Or the drive forms? I know, and they've talked about drive forms, and we've heard of rumors of drive forms, but this seems to be like, look, guys, this is going to be in it. Like, we're confirming these things should be obvious, but now we're showing you pictures of it.
Right, but in video game development, it's not just like the whole team works on one world and the whole other team works. It's like they don't just focus on everything. They have different teams working on different worlds. So even if they showed a trailer of 3 different worlds, there's still a team working on Olympus. And it could be in 2012 or 2014 or whenever. They could have taken those pictures and then just now released them because they're like, this game's taking forever. We got to show something.
Yeah. But either way, it doesn't...
To go to my thesis, these photos don't show any more work has been done than what we've seen already. If they showed maybe new gameplay elements or maybe an extended trailer or even a trailer of some new worlds that are very clearly new, like, yeah, these are high-def photos. But, I mean, obviously, like, they could have just, like, hit print screen on whatever they're working and then just uploaded those, right?
Right.
They
were working
from any time.
Maybe. I mean, if this is stuff we haven't seen before, I mean, we could expect this. But if we haven't seen this before, it shows us something. It's something. I don't think it's a major thing. I don't think it's a big...
Some people are losing their minds about it.
Oh, yeah, dude. Some people are, like, tweeting about it like crazy. I was reading some tweets. They're like, oh, my God.
Okay, so...
Wanting them to drop more things.
A big comparison to this could be what we talked about last week with Red Dead Redemption. With them tweeting out the logo, with them tweeting out the trailer, and then also the other picture of the 7 people. Which one of these do you think means more for the specific game? The 2 screenshots for Kingdom Hearts, or the trailer and the picture for Red Dead Redemption?
I think the trailer for sure.
For Red Dead Redemption,
because that gives you so much more to
even though they've already released trailers for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Well, yeah, because we've gotten there's been a quantity of times that we've been they've given us evidence of
this game for so long.
So many times, you know, it's like whatever. Red Dead Redemption 2, I haven't seen anything for that until then. So because of the quantity of teases we've gotten for Kingdom Hearts, I would say that Red Dead Redemption 2 is way more fun. It's way more digestible. I don't know what the right word is for that.
Anyway, I think I defended my thesis fairly.
Perhaps.
I'll let you guys decide.
Can decide. I mean, I don't think our theses are very far from each other. If there's a spectrum, yours is on the this doesn't mean anything, and mine is like it's something maybe. Not.
I want to reset.
This game's coming out.
I want to reset my thesis,
which would be the other side of the spectrum. And if you guys were listening, which you all are, I had my hands out showing a spectrum. Yeah. And you guys couldn't see it.
Resetting my thesis that these don't mean that they have done any more development on this game from the last time they showed us. That's essentially my thesis.
Okay.
I think that's true. I'm not saying that they haven't worked on it, because I assume they have. Right. But the specific screenshots being shown does not mean that they've done any more than what they've shown us before.
Yeah, and I think that's a valid thesis. I think that's fine to make that conclusion. I don't think we have enough evidence to show one way or the other, because we're not the development team.
Or are we?
Dun dun dun! Surprise! Revealed. Underpaid Gamers Podcast, the official producer of Kingdom Hearts 3. Just kidding, we're not.
Let's talk Star Wars.
Okay. I'm ready for this. So in my free time...
You're all ready for this?